I went kicking and screaming. I did not want to pay 15-20% for financing fees. I did not want to discount treatment. I did not want to lose money, but I had no way of fixing the financing problem outside of paying another company a small fee to do that. And it took me stepping out of my comfort zone just to try it. And that's the great thing is with something like this, you can try it. And if for whatever reason, if you're the one dental business that doesn't work for, then guess what? You can stop doing it. But if I had to bet, it will radically change your business.
Welcome back to another episode of My Dental Playbook. I'm your co-host, Gary Bird. Along with my friend Dr. Blake Hamblin, we dive deep into how he grew his office from $200,000 to $500,000 in monthly production in just 12 months. I've been along for the whole ride, helping with his marketing, and it's been amazing to see. And one of the things that drove up his ROI, helped him produce way more treatment, and helped him get over 1,000 Google reviews is Cherry. I've seen it firsthand, and so we've decided to partner with them, and they're now a sponsor of this show. In this episode, we're going to dive deep into how he actually uses Cherry, and he brought on his treatment coordinator, Paige, and she's going to share their financial menu, which is amazing. It's an absolute hack, and I can almost guarantee that you're doing treatment presentation wrong if you're not doing it this way, and you're going to make more money. You're going to help more patients. Your patients are going to be happier. You're stop going to have to battle insurance and all that kind of stuff. And you're also going to help your team as well. This is that one thing in dental that we haven't adopted yet that a lot of other industries have. And when you do, it's going to give you a huge competitive advantage. I guarantee it. Stay tuned. We got a goal to get to 10,000 subscribers, and 85% of you are not subscribed to the channel yet. So make it happen. Subscribe. Tell them.
Subscribe.
Good job. Make it happen. All right. So we're talking about a really important subject because I think that this is the number one thing in dental that's holding offices back. I know, Dr. Blake, for you in 12 months, you were able to go from $200,000 in production to $500,000 in production over a 12-month period. And this was a big piece of it. Using Cherry Finance was like huge, but it wasn't just that you said, okay, I'm going to start bringing this into my practice. It was, I'm going to bring it in and I'm going to bring my team in and we're all going to rally around this. And what I've noticed about your office is you're happier. The business is healthier. The team is doing better. And more patients are happy. You have over 1,000 Google reviews of patients going, this is awesome. Everybody's happier. Like everybody's winning. You've also skirted insurance, right? Not that people don't use insurance at your office, but now insurance isn't the main conversation anymore. Now it's, hey, let's figure out how to do this. And the number one hub between all of that is patient financing. And I just want to say this to people listening. Everybody's doing financing now. Apple's doing financing. Like anything, any industry that you go into, everybody's doing. I rented a hotel for 2 nights, and they're all, do you want to finance it over, the next 6 months? Like everybody's doing it now, and people can't afford dental just like out of pocket. And so this is just so natural. Whoever, in my opinion, whoever adopts this is going to be the winner in the space. So what made you turn that corner, Dr. Blake, to say, I'm going to go all in on patient financing?
Yeah, man. I think we might have hit on this a while back, but I went kicking and screaming. I did not want to pay 15-20% for financing fees. I did not want to discount treatment. I did not want to lose money. Really, I didn't want to lose time because time is money, right? And so I was kicking and fighting all this stuff. And at the time I was in that mastermind with T-Bone and Sully. And Sully kind of just put me in the corner and put me in timeout. I was like, you're doing this and you're going to like it. Right. And sure enough, I did like it. I found that patients, there was so much treatment walking out the door prior to that I was unaware of, that patients just, they couldn't afford it. And there was no way for them to say yes. And as I could have the best communication skills, I could have the best facilities, I could have the best team, which we had, but I had no way of fixing the financing problem outside of paying another company a small fee to do that. And it took me stepping out of my comfort zone just to try it. And that's the great thing is with something like this, you can try it. And if for whatever reason, if you're the one dental business that this doesn't work for, then guess what? You can stop doing it. But if I had to bet, you will radically change your business if you start using.
Yeah, I totally agree. It'll radically change. Now, one thing that you said, Dr. Blake, that we were talking about, most people don't realize you're already paying a 3 to 4% credit card fee. So it's not like you're just paying on top of. And then the other thing is your numbers will go up. I was just talking with a doctor who's in a lower income area, like middle class, but lower middle class area. And they are getting a lot of emergency patients, and they're qualifying the emergency patients on the call with Cherry. They're saying, hey, here's the link. Come in on the way in, fill this out. We're going to help you either way. And they're coming in and getting qualified to do just enough for maybe an extraction. And they're so thankful for that. And so there's so many different ways to use this and so many different tools that you can use Cherry to really help your production. And like you said, if you don't like it, you can always pull it away. Yeah, go ahead.
I want to add this. Something that's also been mentioned to me is some of the healthiest practices. 20+% is financed. So like if you look at your P&L and that line item for finance dentistry is less than 20% of your overall production, then you still have room to grow. And that like for me, when I first heard that, having not done financing, I sat there and was like, there's no way I will ever finance 20% of our overall treatment. And I don't know exactly where we're at right now, but we finance a heck of a lot of dentistry. And it's radically changed our ability for patients to say yes. It's allowed us to add more providers in our practice. It's allowed us to really market to people that
higher in your marketing because of it.
Yeah, like we're able to reach people that otherwise wouldn't have been able to afford our services. So it truly is. It's something you have to do. I don't think it's like you don't really have an option these days. It's like you have to do this, or you won't be around for a whole lot.
Yeah, I really believe the dentists that figure this out are going to be the ones that win, and the ones that don't are the ones that are going to fail. And there's two layers to it, as we were talking about before. Layer number one is first the doctor has to get on board and really believe in it. But then layer number two is your team has to implement it. So you had Paige come on, who's your treatment coordinator at your guys' office, who's absolutely crushing it. And I want to walk through, Paige, just your process with this. Like, where were you at when you started using it and where you're at now with Cherry? And I appreciate you even said like, hey, Gary, I don't normally do podcasts, which is totally fine, right? Like, I wanted you to tell everybody, and Dr. Blake as well, like your perspective, because if the team doesn't get on board with it and they're not using it, then it'll never work as well.
Yeah, 100%. Luckily, though, I feel like Dr. Hamblin has always been on board with it. And I mean, I guess not in the very beginning, but when I came on, he was on board with it already. And I had already heard about Cherry just through, other things like, Botox and all these other things that people are doing. You see them all over. So I was already aware of it and how convenient it is and how easy it is to say yes to treatment just by using something like.
You mean everybody else in the world's using patient financing as well? Wow. Except for dental. Okay, cool.
Exactly. And it honestly has been tremendous. Like, even I think we were having a conversation this morning, like even if they get only approved for $500 and their treatment is $7,000, okay, that's all right. We can start small and we can get you there. And the good thing with Cherry is also that once you do do a payment plan with them and you pay that off, they automatically will increase that for you. So you're able to go back and then request a higher amount. And it's been really, really helpful in getting people to say yes.
So how do you walk me through how you get a patient to say yes to treatment? Like walk me through that process. Like I'm brand new.
Okay. So, I mean, I go in and I really try to touch on like the emotion of the patient and, if somebody hasn't been able to eat steak in a few years or things like that. And I really try to like hone in on what they are focused on and use their words with them, so like, this is really going to help you be able to eat that steak again, or however it is, just emotionally attaching it to them and making them really like resonate with this.
And that technique, just for everybody out there, I know dentists hate this stuff, but treatment coordinators get it. It's called mirroring. It's a sales technique, and there's nothing unethical about it. What it means is you're listening. So if someone says, man, I just don't like my teeth, they're not straight. Oh, okay. And you listen, and then you say it back to them in the same emotion. If they're sad, you say it's sad. If they're excited, you say it excited, right? So that's really good.
Exactly. But really honing in on that emotional point with them and what they are focused on, and focus on their treatment, because they are here for whatever reason that may be, whether it's, they're in pain or cosmetic or whatever. But being able to offer the cherry with them is tremendous. So I just pretty much, go through the process of that and really hone in on that emotional aspect. And then I'll, if they're telling me like they're not able to or it's too much, that's when we kind of ask them where they're at with it. Like, okay, well, is this something that you feel like is worth it? Is this, something you want to get fixed? Is this something, what is your timeline on this? And then I always suggest cherry because it takes like 2 to 3 minutes to get somebody.
Walk me through how you present cherry, because how most dentists do this, I'm going to call a bunch of dentists out right now. And if it hurts your feelings, not you, Paige, but the dentist, it's going to hurt their feelings. How they do it is, all right, so that's going to be $7 billion. And the patient goes, okay, let me talk to my husband.
Well, okay. So I start by letting them know that when I'm presenting the treatment, I tell them the price. If they have insurance, I tell them what that insurance is going to cover or the estimated amount that they'll cover. And then I always say, so it'll be $250 or as little as $50 a month.
So you give the total or the monthly?
Well, I do it all. So I mention the total. Then I mention if there's a benefit involved. So whether that's insurance or we have a membership or however, and then I give them what that amount is. And then if there's payments that we have on a treatment plan that we have, and it has like different options and it's just kind of estimated. It's not really specific. And so then they're like, oh, $50 a month. How do we do that? And so then I'm like, well, we actually use Cherry Financing. It is a third-party financing company, but they always have 0 interest options. And whether you qualify, we can find out. It takes about 2 to 3 minutes. Then I ask them, do you have your phone on you? And most people have their phone on them. And I'm like, okay, well, just really quickly, I'm going to send you a text. And I go in personally because there's a few different options with Cherry. You can text them the link, but then they have to fill out all the information. You can pre-qualify somebody, or you can put in all their information for them and it texts them the link to confirm all their information and to verify that everything's correct. So I always put in all their information for them. And there's like 2 questions that I have to ask them. I think it's like, what is your monthly income for everybody in the house? And then what is your either mortgage or rent monthly? And so I'll put that in and I just let them know, hey, so you're going to receive a text. It's going to come, from a company called Cherry. It's not spam. So just click on that link and then, you'll verify all the information that was put in. And I kind of walk them through it as I'm putting their information in. I literally say, what I'm doing right now is I'm just copy and pasting your information from your chart to this so you don't have to do all the hard work. And I just kind of tell them literally step by step as I'm doing it. So then it texts them the link and I'm like, so what you need to do is just confirm everything is spelled right, that I put all the numbers in right, that I didn't make any errors because I do. So they go through that. It takes them a second. They confirm it. And then literally within 45 seconds, I have it on my screen, what they were approved for. So then I'm like, great news, you're approved for $500.
So that whole process from the second you present to then when they give you permission to move forward with the monthly, how long is that process?
Literally like 3 to 5 minutes. And that depends on our connection that day. Like if we're struggling a little, maybe it's 5 minutes. But if we're not, it's like 3 minutes.
Dr. Blake has the slow dial-up internet in the office. It's $20 more dollars. We can get the fast internet. So 3 minutes. And then, I've talked to a lot of treatment coordinators and the thing that they always say is, I'm scared that people are going to get rejected, right? They're going to get a no. And that really kills the flow, especially when it's Grandma Betty, who's been at your practice for 37 years, you know what I mean? And you're trying to get her to do more patient financing so she can get the treatment that she finally needs. And then you get rejected. So how often are people getting rejected? And then how do you deal with that?
Well, now they have like a newer thing. It's almost like, I'm sure you've seen like when you're checking out on Amazon, it's like pay with, biweekly, 3 payments of this or 4 payments of that. Cherry has added that to their financing system. So now almost everybody gets approved. It'll just start really small. So they'll get approved for $100. And then, so I always say like, great news. You can use that $100 towards your treatment.
So basically you're always getting a yes.
Yeah. And then they just, at the moment you pay that off, you get to increase it.
Oh, so if the patient does, let's say you have a $3,000 patient treatment plan and the patient doesn't have $3,000, they can't put it on a credit card. And so they go in and Cherry only approves $500. So then what you tell them to do is, hey, let's just do the $500 in treatment. you pay that off, and let's say they pay it off over 4 months, 5 months, whatever. And then now they come back and they know now they have a 1,500, and now they can do some more treatment. You pay it off. So Cherry's basically segmenting your treatment for you.
And they're getting to build their credit. So they're able to, it's like a win-win for everybody, right? So they get to do their treatment. They're building their credit. Also, like, we're getting the treatment sold. You know what I mean? And so it's like bettering everybody. It helps each party.
That's so good. Now the objection that the doctors, so this is easy, right? Like, I don't really see how anybody could be like, no, this isn't good. This is, the patient wins, the office wins, the doctors win, like everybody's happy. You're working, you're working with the insurance, not against it now. Like, the whole thing is a W. But the one objection I already know, Dr. Blake, that people are going to say is like, okay, but how am I going to afford giving everybody patient financing? So how does the math for you when it's all done and said?
Yeah. So directly, like how do we afford to pay for the dentistry that they do?
Yeah, because so here's the fear. Let's say the elephant in the room. I'm going to do patient financing, and I'm going to get a Paige, and Paige is going to crush it, and everybody's going to use Cherry. And now I'm paying 20% of my money to Cherry. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I would rather dentists actually experience this. So what I want people to do is I want them to do 1 month without Cherry Finance, and I want them to do 1 month with Cherry Finance, and I want to see which month they both produce higher numbers, but also take home more money. And I think it'll be an interesting experiment to find out what the answer is.
Yeah, because if you roll it out for 1 month, there's no rule that you have to do it again the next month, right? Like,
no, just try it. Dentists do not understand that. Number one, we're not the best communicators generally. So we don't communicate that well to patients to where they really see why the value of the treatment is the value of the treatment. And more than 50% of the time, even if we did do a good job with that, it's not about how well we present it. It's, can they actually pay for it? What can they pay for it? And so what I was going to go into actually, Gary, is I think with what Paige was just mentioning, what we will tend to do, we have kind of a philosophy, kind of like think of it 3 different tiers. So we want to finance. So patients can pay in cash, credit card, whatever. Or we want to finance, phase, or discount. So FPD. So for all the dentists out there, they'll understand FPD. So finance, phase, discount. So what we'll do is we'll quite literally present all of the treatment all at the same time. And we'll say, okay, it's $7,000 or as little as $300 a month. Oh, doc, Paige, there's no way I could do $7,000 or $300. Okay, great. What's a comfortable number that you think you could handle on? So before we even go get financing done, we've got them to commit to, oh, well, I think $100. Right? I could probably do $100. So then Paige can go see what they get qualified for. So let's say they get qualified for $100, right? So now she can come back and say, hey, great news, you got qualified for $100. Here's what we can do to fit it in your budget. Once you've already gotten a number from that person, they're the crazy one when you come back and say, hey, I got the number you just told me you could do. You ready to sign up for treatment? Like, they already said they could do it, right? And so I think that's a really important, critical thing is when you present that treatment, you've got to present the dollar amount with what that monthly financing option would be. But then if they can't afford that, then ask them, what could you afford? So that when you go get that number from Cherry, you can come back with all the great news in the world about how you were able to go to bat for it and create the.
So are they stretching out the time period? Is that how they do it, or how are you getting a cheaper payment by?
No. So what we would do is, so say the patient has a $7,000 treatment plan, but they get qualified for $1,000. Well, now we've done the financing, so they can't finance all $7,000. So now we're going to go to phasing it. So now we're going to say, hey, Gary, unfortunately, we can't do the Invisalign and the implant, but we can take care of that filling on the left side, right? And then last case scenario, which Paige has the autonomy to do in our office, is discount. So she knows generally, like, hey, this is a case that Dr. Hamblin probably would still be willing to do if we gave a discount on top of all this stuff. So her job is just close the treatment, right? So finance, phase, discount.
Got it. Okay, I follow. So if I'm the patient, you cover $1,000. I'm going to pay, let's say the magic number for me was $200. Well, I'm going to pay $200 a month for 5 months. but then you're already building in the next phase of treatment because they're going to have more than $1,000 that next one. And you're just going to keep it at that $200 a month. And they're just going to keep getting treatment done however long that timetable is. Is that right? And through that, they're building a relationship with you because they're coming back and getting their teeth cleaned. They're coming back, getting the treatment done. Okay, I just paid it. Great. And you can kind of celebrate with them and move it forward. And they're locked. They're not leaving your office to go do this treatment somewhere else. They're going to stay with you because you figured out how to make it work. And I think that's like the secret in all of this is that dentists don't do this. Like I've been to the dentist. They're like, okay, here you go. And I don't fully understand my treatment. You didn't really give me any options. I don't understand my insurance. I call them, they confuse me on purpose. And so it's just like someone's actually giving me answers and giving me what I want. Just like when you go to buy your new iPhone and they're like, all right, it's $2,400 for this new iPhone. You're like, oh man. Or you can pay $36 a month, no interest. Okay. And you get to upgrade.
Give me the bigger one. I'll take the bigger one.
Yeah, I'll take the bigger. I'll take 3 terabytes on my iPhone. I have no idea like how much space that is, but whatever, right? Like, so that's what dentistry is missing as a whole. The cosmetic industry has totally figured this out. Like 10,000%. They have, Paige brought it up. Like, oh, I've already heard about this. They use it all the time. That's how they do it. But dentistry has not gotten there yet. So it's still a competitive advantage. Paige, is there anything else that you would recommend? Like if a treatment coordinator or a doctor was listening right now, what would you say to them about this to help them overcome their fear of doing something like this?
I would kind of piggyback off of what Dr. Hamblin said. Honestly, I just try it for a month. Your practice is going to do better. And really training your treatment team as well. And then I feel like Dr. Hamlin's done a really good job of that. Like he's given us these tools to really be able to excel in the treatment room with our patients, and I would say just give it a try for a month and weigh it out.
Try it, right? Like go all in. And so my recommendation would be when you try it, actually go all the way in. Present it to every single patient. Don't be scared. You can always turn it off next month. And what's the worst that's going to happen? You get a couple percentage points in 1 month. In the big scheme of things, it's like nothing. So give it a try. See if you make more money overall. See if your patients are happier. See if your treatment coordinators, your doctors, your hygienists are all happier now because you're doing way more treatment. And I just don't see any reason not to do it. Dr. Blake, any last thoughts from you?
Yeah, I would just add, it's kind of like what I tell patients about Invisalign. I go, Invisalign's incredibly good at what they do, but at the end of the day, it doesn't work if you don't wear it. And so don't let Cherry Finance be something that lives on the shelf in somewhere in your office. Let it be something that you lead with. So that's why we've quite literally, we say, this is how much your treatment costs, or as little as X amount of dollars. And if you don't have that financial menu, you can subscribe and we'll give it to you. Or if you don't want to use it, great. Make up a number. Just make up a number, because that's all you're trying to do is you're trying to figure out, does this person want to pay with a credit card? Can they afford the dentistry without financing it? Or would they benefit from financing? That's it.
That's great. Yeah. So if you want that menu that Dr. Blake and Paige mentioned, the exact menu that they use at their office, it's down below. The link's down below. You can check that out. And if you want to download Cherry, I strongly recommend that you do. They're a sponsor of this podcast, but also Dr. Blake uses them. And I have a ton of dentists that I work with that uses them. If you want your marketing to perform better, your team to be happier, your patients to be happier, and you want to make more money, download that. If you don't want that, go to Facebook and you can come argue with me in there, and I will be happy to have a conversation with you about it. But in all seriousness, there's really no downside to this. It's very simple. You just have to change the way you're thinking just a little bit. And Paige, you did an awesome job. Your hair, your glasses, your earrings, everything was perfect. And you explained everything so well from a perspective of a treatment coordinator. So I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your perspective on this.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Paige.
Hey, thanks so much for listening to the whole podcast. You're truly one of our greatest fans, and we really appreciate you. And we want to give you a $3,000 marketing credit to be used to grow your office. We have the link right down below. We'll meet really quickly. It takes about 15 minutes, and we'll tell you how you can save $3,000 on growing your office. And if you're an existing client, let us know, because this is for new clients, but we have some giveaways for existing clients as well. And it's great. So you'll love it. Thank you so much for listening. We really, really appreciate you.